Hello, everybody. Welcome to this breakdown for the main event tomorrow morning in Macau, China, between the number 5 ranked bantamweight in the world, Song Yadong, versus the former two-time flyweight champion who is currently ranked number 7 in the bantamweight division, Deiveson Figueiredo. So, with that being said, I was very surprised, as y'all can see right here. The odds are so lopsided that Song Yadong fighting in his home country is a minus 600 favorite to Deiveson Figueiredo being a plus 440 underdog. Now let's go through the last few fights between these two fighters, shall we? Okay. So with Song Yadong, his last three fights, he fought Sean O'Malley, Henry Cejudo, and Peter Yan. He went 1-2 in those three bouts. And same side for Deiveson Figueiredo. He fought Umar Nurmagomedov, Montel Jackson, and Corey Sandhagen, who was ranked number 4. Nurmagomedov is number 2. Sean's number 3. Like those are losses are to the 1, 2, 3, and champion of this division, mind you. But still, when you look at the win that both of them have in their last victory was for Song Yadong, Henry Cejudo, and for Deiveson Figueiredo, Montel Jackson, which he won by split decision. And mainly people think he won that because that fight night in October last year was in Brazil. So they had to, give the co-main event fighter, the big pop for the night. In my opinion, you can go back and say Montel won that fight. I didn't say. I saw that fight. I said neither one of them won. So those are the last three performances in the bantamweight division for Deiveson Figueiredo. A almost lost but technically split decision victory, a knee injury that thought it was take him out for over a year, but it only sidelined him for 5 months. Yeah, he fought in May of last year and then came back and fought in October and then already turned around and fought this year in January in the first Paramount card. And that fight against Umar Nurmagomedov was really a testament that Umar Nurmagomedov is not ready to challenge for the bantamweight championship right away yet because this division is filled with killers like Song Yadong. And here's what's going to be funny. If Song Yadong beats Deiveson Figueroa like he's favored that he's supposed to do, then that's easy. The next fight that's going to be made for Song and for Nurmagomedov is they fight each other. So looking at the last part before I make my prediction, the losses that these gentlemen have shared. Obviously, I mentioned the last two for both these fighters, Corey Sandhagen and Umar Magomedov for Davidson, and Sean O'Malley and Peter Yan and Corey Sandhagen. That's another similar loss that both of them share. In that fight, like in both of their fights with Corey, which one had more of a chance to win and didn't get dominated like Davidson did? Obviously, that would be the answer is Song Yadong. Like his fight went all the way to the fifth round. It was competitive. They really were trying to keep that cut above his eye from bleeding more, but every time he went in for takedowns and grappling, it just, when their heads just rubbed up against each other, it just allowed the blood to keep pouring out. The doctor told Herb Dean, I don't like this, and then he stopped the fights. But with all these losses and then going through the methods of victories, we got advantage. I mean, they are evenly dead with knockouts, and then when you get to submissions, you obviously would favor the Brazilian over the Chinese fighter. And then, yes, more decisions for Song Yadong and then Davidson. That's a good thing. How do I see this fight ending? I see it more than likely being, well, Song Yadong hasn't really had any like finishes to himself since he fought Ricky Simon. And Ricky's no slouch. You all know that Ricky's a good, like, is that one of his, did I Yeah, I put that as Ong Yadong's third best victory. Beating Henry Cejudo, the former champion, is one. Beating the number 10 currently ranked bantamweight in the world in Marlon Chito Vera is two. And then a formerly ranked bantamweight in the top 15, Ricky Simon, is definitely number 3. But then you look at Davidson's, and he also has the victory over Marlon Chito Vera. He also has victories over former flyweight champion Brandon Moreno, but he's also beaten Davidson twice. And then Alex Perez, who's also going to be fighting on this card tonight. So the thing that makes it easy for me to side with the betting line that Song Yadong is the huge favorite is that he's just been more of a seasoned bantamweight. And when you look at Deiveson Figueiredo's history in this division, and let's go to the losses with that. Well, okay, he's lost to Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen, and Umar Nurmagomedov, the champion, the number two and number four in the division. And his wins are against Montel Jackson, and then his other wins are against Cody Garbrandt, Rob Font, and there's one more name. Oh yeah, and Cheeto Vera. Like the Cheeto win we already talked about, it's a good win, but the wins over Rob Font and Cody Garbrandt today, it's like it's funny that those two fought each other to a 5 round fight night main event 5 years ago, and now Song Yadong and Figueiredo are fighting each other in the fight night 5 years later. So that's a lot of information to kind of put into account who is going to win this fight. All in all, I'm going with Song Yadong. He's fighting in his home country. He hasn't fought there in 8 years. The UFC has gone there regularly throughout their couple times with Zhang Wei Li, with Zhang Minyang last year, with Deiveson Figueiredo fighting Peter Yan 2 years ago. So like, there's been plenty of times for Song to be in this opportunity to fight in front of his home country, but now he gets to fight, and what he says, a former UFC champion, where he is a minus 600 favorite, no doubt about it. Song Yadong gets the job done. He's saying he's going to knock him out in the first or second round. Every fighter who's on the main event fighting in their home town, country, etc. That's what they have to say. But if you ask me, Davidson is not an easy person to finish unless he hurts himself or unless he gets a cut in his eye and he's unable to continue. So I just say this is going to be a 5 round decision. The last time Song Yadong went 5 rounds, he beat Chris Gutierrez a couple of years ago. So I see the same rinse and repeat method of victory. And that is my prediction.